I'm just wondering if your advice applies to somebody who's at a certain stage of business to start looking back at joy, or do you find like that's one of the principles you have to start with? And of course, I want to expand this to sales, but I often find that people who are interested in sales often have a perspective of business as well. Is joy something that I find myself at a certain stage where I've generated enough income and I need to like pivot to joy, or is it something I need to start with?
I would say you need to start with it. And I'd say you need to start with it every single day. Because, I mean, this is your life. It's like, so are you living it? Like, are you living it to the fullest? One of the tools I use, I wake up in the morning, probably for the past 4 years, I would say. I wake up before I even get out of bed. I put my hands on my body somewhere and I just sort of say hello to it. I'm like, hey, body. And it's like, good morning. And I might do something like say hi to my organs, because they're there. They're making your body like, do everything it's got to do, or just even like my toes or anything. And I'm lucky enough, I live across the road from the beach. So when I'm not traveling, I can hear the ocean, I can hear the birds and all of that. And it's just like this moment with my body, this moment with the earth. And then I get up. Like this morning, I literally said out loud to myself, God, I feel so good. It's going to be a great day. And just with that demand of it's going to be a great day. And for me, my whole life is my business. And, I for years, being an entrepreneur, you've probably heard this when people say, oh, I hope you get to have time off. Do you ever get to have a weekend? Do you get to have a holiday? You're working too hard, both ends. And all of those projections hurt you if you take them on. Because for me, I'm one of those people who, I'll go for a walk on the beach and I come back with a million ideas. Or everyone I work with, the team of people I work with always laugh at me because I go, I was just in the shower, because I'm that person who washes my hair and has a great idea, to the point where someone actually gave me a notepad that you can get wet. Because I'm like, I was in the shower. What was I thinking of, So to me, it's this constant state of creation and a constant state of joy. And it should be with everything. It should be when you are actually in a meeting, when you're doing a podcast, when you're cooking a meal, when you're having a shower, when you're going for a run. Why would you not choose your life to be joyful with everything? And one of the things I used to do a lot too is even like, this is old school. This is years ago when you used to get bills, when you used to get bills in the mail and you open up the envelopes. And because I created myself to be a bit of a financial mess at one stage too. So I realized I had to start changing my point of view around money. And when I would pay a bill, I'd be writing the details, writing a check. That's a long time ago, writing a check. And I would thank the phone bill or the electricity. And I'd be like, hey, I'm really grateful for you. And attempt with everything I could to send this check off with joy in it, because I knew that I had to be grateful and joyful for everything that was in my life in order to invite more. And I can say that's definitely what showed up.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the most common questions you get asked, but you're already addressing it in a way because, some people might perceive the fact that what joy in business, does that mean I only do the things that I like and I just ignore all the things that I don't like? But even here, you're talking about an example of paying the bills, but you can choose to do it with a sense of joy. Would you be able to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think if I look at all the businesses that I have, because I have a lot of different things I'm involved in, like Access Consciousness is the main business, but there's a lot of different businesses I have, from antique to investing in a gym to, all these different things. And not all of it is like, yay, fun to do, but it matches the energy of what I want to do. And that's what I keep looking at. I know I've referred to that a few times of like what matches the energy. I don't always want to get up in the morning. I'm really good at getting up and I'm really creative. But some days my body's like, dude, what are we doing? Why are we getting up right now? Can't we just sleep in? No, we've committed to something and we have something on. So let's get up and let's do that. Now, in saying that, it's not every single thing, like every action I take, everything I do throughout the day is this like, rainbows and unicorns and everything, but it leads me to where I would like. And the second piece though, which was a great tool that I learned, I never wanted to give anyone a job to do that I didn't like, because my very limited point of view was that if I didn't like it, why would somebody else like it? So I was doing all the jobs that I didn't like and giving everyone the jobs I liked to other people. This was years ago. And I realized, hang on, I've got this around the wrong way. It's like there are people who like to do the accounting. There are people who like to file and have a great organizational system. There are people who like to make phone calls. So one of the things I started asking for was to hire people who were better than me, and not based on judgment, but just better than me. They enjoyed sales more. They enjoyed, accounting more, or whatever that is. So to surround yourself by really capable people so that you can, offset some of those things that maybe are not as enjoyable. But there's a bit of a trick to that, Jason, is you've got to be willing to be out of control, and you've got to be willing to let people choose the way they choose, because they're not going to choose the same way that you would. They're going to do it different, and you've got to be okay with that.
For me, this was an important lesson as well. I think what I had to accept at first was that, okay, I kind of had that sense of control, and I was like, if somebody's going to be doing the thing that I do really, really well, they're probably only going to do it at 80% of how well I do it. And that was kind of my stage one. I was like, okay, if I can accept that if they do it at 80% of what I would do, then I have more free time to do the things that I do like with more efficiency. And that's how I justified it. And what you just said is a lesson that I learned after, which was if I don't specify the way to do it, then they end up doing it better than me. And I've let go of that control. And then I get surprised by what people do. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this before?
Yes.
And like my mind just really shifted in that acknowledgement.
I love that. Yeah, I know. If I'm not controlling the world, will things actually be okay? Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they'll even be better.
Yeah, well, that's a whole topic in itself, because at the end of the day, we have control over nothing. And the sooner you accept that, I think joy ends up coming a lot more. Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.